Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, today we got more bombshell Twitter files drops. Or actually, we got them maybe 2 days ago from when you're watching this video. And it's a little bit of a bittersweet moment. It's more vindication, it's more proof that everything we have been saying over the last couple of years has been absolutely on the money. It's true, it's now verifiable. There's evidence, mass-scale federal corruption, unequivocally, undeniably violating Americans' constitutional First Amendment right. And so that's the sweet moment, it's vindication, we were right. But the sad part is, nobody seems to be paying attention, and the GOP doesn't seem like they're interested, at least the GOP establishment. And so it's kind of this weird situation, this weird feeling where we're pointing, we're saying, look at this, this stuff is crazy. It's a shock to the conscience. This should be the biggest story in the media right now. People are just not paying attention and looking at you as if you're crazy. Let's talk about the Twitter files, and of course, let's continue to delve into that unique phenomenon. I guess the phenomenon is just human nature and human society. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so some more Twitter bombshells. Thread, Twitter Files Part 6. Twitter, the FBI subsidiary. The hashtag Twitter Files are revealing more every day about how the government collects, analyzes, and flags your social media content. Twitter's contact with the FBI was constant and pervasive, as if it were a subsidiary. Between January 2020 and November 2022, there were over 150 emails between the FBI and former Twitter Trust and Safety Chief Yoel Roth. Some are mundane, like San Francisco agent Elvis Chen wishing Roth a Happy New Year along with a reminder to attend our quarterly call next week. Others are requests for information into Twitter users related to active investigations. But a surprisingly high number are requests by the FBI for Twitter to take action on election misinformation, even involving joke tweets from low follower accounts. The FBI's social media focused task force, known as the FTIF, created in the wake of the 2016 election, swelled to 80 agents and corresponded with Twitter to identify alleged foreign influence and election tampering of all kinds. Federal intelligence and law enforcement's reach into Twitter included the Department of Homeland Security, which partnered with security contractors and think tanks to pressure Twitter to moderate content. It's no secret that the government analyzes bulk data for all sorts of purposes, everything from tracking terror suspects to making economic forecasts. The hashtag Twitter Files show something new. Agencies like the FBI and the DHS regularly sending social media content to Twitter through multiple entry points pre-flagged for moderation. What stands out is the sheer quantity of reports from the government. Some are aggregated from public hotlines. So that's the gist of Matt Taibbi's little intro here. Now let's get into the actual details, the emails. This is an official email from the FBI. Hello, Twitter contacts. FBI San Francisco is notifying you of below accounts which may potentially constitute violations of Twitter's terms of service for any action or inaction deemed appropriate within Twitter policy, and then listing multiple individuals, accounts that they want taken action on. Here's another one. FBI folks, I've reviewed this already from TD Perspective and suspended 3 of the accounts for multi-account abuse and ban evasion violations. Rodrigo, could you please review @FromMA for possible civic misinformation or direct to the appropriate part of GET for their review? Thanks. Thanks, Patrick. I've escalated to GET for a first pass. And mind you, the individual that they're planning to suspend or take action on is just a regular low follow account citizen who tweets stuff like this. This is the individual from MA. I want to remind Republicans to vote tomorrow, Wednesday, November 9th. That's a joke. Propose container ship if there's a worldwide recession. This is what the FBI was focused on. Next email. Hello, Twitter contacts, the same spiel that they wrote the first time, this time flagging Twitter post by user @ByramWade, display name Ultra MAGA, stating the following: Americans vote today, Democrats, you vote Wednesday 9th. Clearly another joke. Twitter account Claire Foster PhD claimed in her post that she is a ballot counter in her state, and in additional posts states, for every negative comment on this post, I'm adding another vote for the Democrats, and if you're not wearing a mask, I'm not counting your vote. Here's the example from Dr. Foster PhD, which from my understanding is a parody account. And so the list goes on. This is what the FBI was focusing on. Small Twitter accounts tweeting jokes. Parody accounts. I mean, that's clearly already outrageous, considering what you expect the FBI to be doing is protecting the nation from national security threats and concerns. You expect them to be focused more on the exploitation of minors, white-collar corruption, the cartels, and terrorism, but instead what they're doing is focusing on parody accounts and Trump-supporting soccer moms who are tweeting things that they don't like. Completely outrageous, and if that's not outrageous enough, you have a federal agency here actively and explicitly violating Americans' protected right to speech, their constitutional right to express themselves and make jokes. The federal government was, and most likely still is, actively violating your constitutional rights. Remember back in the early 2000s when it came out that the CIA was spying on individuals without a warrant, just collecting mass information from technological devices, a mass surveillance system, observing your every move? I mean, that was a big deal. It was one of the biggest stories in the media for years. We saw Senate and House hearings, the media was covering it, people were outraged and rightly so. This is the same thing, except it might even be worse, because it's political in nature. We are seeing a trend here with these federal agencies, a total disregard for the constitutional rights of American citizens. These organizations or departments within these organizations essentially going rogue, acting like cowboys and doing whatever the hell they want. This is one of the biggest scandals of my lifetime, and it's crazy that I can't categorize it as the biggest scandal of my lifetime, and that's what really starts to put it into perspective. Where is the accountability? Hillary Clinton, the DNC, colluded with foreign spies to plant false evidence about Donald Trump. They used rogue agents at the FBI to get an illegal FISA warrant to spy on Donald Trump's campaign and then his White House, all in the shadowy plot to undo him as president, to destroy his public image and lead to an impeachment, and there has been no accountability and the people are not outraged. Now we have this, and again it seems as though history is repeating itself. Where is the outrage, not only from the people, but from the people who represent the people? Where is the Republican Party? And even where's the Democrat Party? I mean, we expect them not to show up and to essentially be status quo establishment shills, but the GOP is supposed to represent the will and the interest of their voter base. And this is by far the biggest concern and the biggest issue currently, and Mitch McConnell hasn't said a thing. The establishment does not care. They have no interest in combating corruption. They have chosen their side, and that much is clear. They would rather pretend as if this stuff doesn't exist and avoid the conflict. They don't want to seem crazy like Donald Trump, questioning the legitimacy of American institutions, and so they'd rather ignore it than do something about it. It's absolute peak cowardice. And once again, they play into the Democrat hand, into the media hand, who would rather not address it. It currently benefits them, so they don't care. I mean, the GOP establishment is basically employing the exact same strategy as the mainstream media, pretending as if it doesn't exist or doesn't really have any significance, there's nothing there, even though it's the furthest thing from a nothing burger. CNN devoted like a total of 30 seconds to the issue, and instead of actually focusing on the deep-seated corruption, what did they do? Well, they complained that they didn't get the exclusive rights to cover the Twitter files, as if they would be trusted to handle this information correctly.
And I think a lot of the Twitter files, I mean, more transparency is great. I think Donnie and I would have loved to receive a cache of files exposing or revealing
our email address.
I bet you would. Yeah, we would.
Slide into our DMs, Elon, with the files, please.
I think the problem here, though, is that Elon Musk is effectively serving as a gatekeeper for this information. He is not giving it to newsrooms. He is giving it to hand-picked journalists who are then agreeing to the condition, at least one condition, of tweeting out the files instead of posting them in news stories. So I think
that's not the spirit of free speech.
No.
The whole thing is just ridiculous. Honestly, it's the stuff of black pill. There needs to be more pressure on the GOP establishment to do the right thing for once in their damn lives. And once again, it shows the difference between the establishment and Trump. Trump just released this as part of his presidential 2024 platform. Restoring free speech overview. Ban federal agencies from colluding to censor American citizens. Ban taxpayer dollars from being used to label speech as mis or disinformation. Fire every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship. Immediately send preservation letters to the Biden administration and big tech giants, order the DOJ to investigate all parties involved in online censorship regime and prosecute any and all crimes identified, revise Section 230 to drastically curtail big tech platforms' power to restrict lawful speech, stop federal funding for all nonprofits and academic programs engaged in censorship, suspend federal dollars to any university that has engaged in censorship support activities, enact criminal penalties to federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities opportunities to violate your constitutional rights and impose a 7-year cooling off period before former Intel and national security officials can work at big tech platforms and pass a digital bill of rights. You know, all these neocon establishment never-Trumpers continue to talk about how bad Donald Trump is, but he is once again the only person actually fighting for important issues. Once again, the only one standing up against the corrupt establishment. And that as well is an undeniable fact. I gotta say though, I'm not exactly confident that anything really is gonna change, that anything's gonna happen. There's a whole lot of talk about the Twitter files, but without action, without outrage materializing into something significant, it's just gonna be yet again another news story that eventually fizzles out. But that's my opinion. We'll have to see exactly what happens. It's also what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.